Hello, welcome to the shift. So, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I made a video. I've been meaning to make a video since Aries new moon, but hey, we're all doing the best we can at this point, right? First, I just want to say that for anybody who is directly affected by the virus or the quarantine or on a health level, mental level, emotional level, family level, financial level, on all levels, um, you know, I'm here with you. We're here with you. And your experience is why we are all doing our best right now to help each other out and be the best person we can be. All right, so let's get into this. I started this channel about a year ago to talk about the shift, and here we are. I've mentioned the divine feminine coming back several times, and part of that is whatever is in accordance with the new cycles that we're moving into has to fall away. As simple as that. And we can see what is standing on shaky legs now and what was held up by, illusion in some ways. So here we are. We came out of this Mercury retrograde that was really weird and it lasted forever, and then all of a sudden it's hoarding of TP and shutting down of countries and social distancing, lockdown, these key phrases that keep coming up in the media to us all the time. One thing I like to do when I get these key phrases coming at me a lot is look at the etymology of the words lockdown, social distancing, and sometimes the etymology, the root meaning gives me a different flavor to what's coming at me. So just a little tip. So what we have next, we've experienced a lot here. I definitely think Monday for me, I finally cracked, and some emotions, just the emotions hit me all at once. It was Mars conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, which is square to my personal Mars conjunct Pluto. I have that in my natal chart as well. So that was pretty impactful. I needed to release, and I definitely started taking care of myself after that. And like I was telling your friend, I'm treating myself like a crystal. Everything that you would do to maintain a crystal, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting sun. I'm lounging on the ground on a picnic blanket and salt baths and just recharging myself, cleansing myself. And I hope that you take time to do that too, because we're in a marathon here. It's not a sprint. So recharge, exhaust yourself physically, get good sleep, do all of the good stuff. Do everything in your tool bag, all your grounding techniques, meditation techniques, whatever it is you do to get yourself centered, double down on it and do it every day. We need to do that. Okay, so we have some things coming up. We have another conjunction. Mars has been making its way through Capricorn, and it's activating each planet that it comes over. So we have another conjunction coming up here on the 31st. Mars will conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is an initiating degree, 0 degrees. And I'm sort of interpreting this as excuse me, some rules are some maybe even like surveillance or like AI, something to do with technology and the government and either maybe military or policing, just because of the Mars there. Um, I definitely think it's AI related and government related. So we'll see what happens then. Who knows? And that's on the 31st. I'd be curious to see what pops up at the in the news that day. That's um, seems I don't want to say oppressive, but a tightening of controls. And I think it'll be probably be technologically related. Okay, and then on the 3rd, Mercury is going to conjunct with Neptune and Pisces. On April 3rd will be a great day to take a break. It's going to be a Friday. If you could take the Friday off, if you're still working, or a half day, or if you're not working and you've been driving yourself crazy and worried and stressed out, take a break. Take a break from it. Friday the 3rd is a great day to take a break, to be creative, write a poem, sing a song, play music, cook. I mean, whatever is creative for you, get it out. Try to find something you can do that'll get you in a flow state. Maybe it's roller skating, maybe it's gardening, maybe it's yoga, whatever it is, get in a flow state. Your brain will thank you for it. Your brain needs a rest. Your brain wants to feel the grace of something bigger than this situation, and just, it's a great day for imagination. Spark that imagination up. Daydream. Just sit on your patio and daydream. How about that? That would be perfect for that day. So that's the energy of that day. I really recommend all of us to take a mental break and meditate, relax in the sun, daydream, come up with imagination. If serious circumstances have changed in your life, start envisioning and dreaming up a different future for yourself. Or it's really a day to be a visionary, to envision and feel what it would feel like for this new future, or just relax. Okay, and then on the 4th, we have a generational cycle starting over again. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, okay? So the cycle that we're ending now, it's kind of the end and the beginning of a new one, right? End of an old one. The ending is for a cycle that started on 2007, okay? So let's think about what happened in 2007. The housing bubble burst, right? Which led to bailouts, etc., etc. Very similar to what we're seeing now. This is much more of a grander scale. It is global, but it's even feels more impactful. But gosh, I mean, I was there. I remember. Maybe it did feel this crazy and impactful, but I doubt it. The iPhone was announced, so we've been in a full generation cycle with the smartphone. I think those of us, Gen Z, maybe some older millennials, remember how cell phones were before they were smartphones. It was very different. You definitely didn't have it on you constantly the way we do now. You weren't making videos on it. This is how we're keeping in touch with our family and our friends. We're doing these virtual meetings and all of this FaceTime. So that's interesting. And then that movie, An Inconvenient Truth, came out. And boy, are we finding out how inconvenient that was. And, you can get into the details of, that being used as a narrative for whatever. But at the end of the day, yes, there are earth changes, some of which are just earth changes, but you have to face that a lot of our water and food supply is poison and air. And, I was just thinking about that. I was like, what if this bat has been carrying this virus forever, but we've evolved in such a way of the way we live now that we're just more susceptible to things. We don't have that awesome immune system that our great grandfather did because he was out in the sun all day working in fresh air, and his food came from the local farmer or what have you. So, that's kind of started, the way we live now kind of started in the 50s, and we're seeing how those conveniences are now really inconvenient for us. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Some other things to talk about. I mentioned the bat. My friend posted a picture of the 2020 quarter, which has a bat on it. I think it's to commemorate national parks. And what a coincidence. They're tracing back the virus to a bat. Somebody eating bats. A bat soup. I thought it was whatever. I don't know the specifics. But I looked up bat totem and bat symbolism, and it was all about what we're going through. It was all about major change and upheavals and transformation and fear and courage and to change. And I like that. That was really interesting. A lot of people are also posting things like books that in the 80s and 90s wrote stories or predicted things very similar to what we're experiencing now, or the Simpsons episode that was very similar. And some people are starting to tap in to are connecting dots and tapping into these really odd synchronicities. And is it odd? Email me, we'll discuss. But yeah. So here we are, we're all in flux. We really don't know what to do. We're in the shift. We have to surrender any false sense of being able to control the situation. We have to go into ourselves and figure out who we really are, what we really thought the world was, how that's changed and how that changes us and our underlying belief systems. And we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is about collaboration and group efforts and things like that. So this brings up the point of that Aquarian Leo axis and trying to integrate that into this new cycle, sort of being an integration of that, so that we don't end up being the dark side of Aquarius, which is detached and kind of hive mind and ideologically driven and zealot and yeah, we don't want to get caught up in that, right? So how do we avoid that? Well, we can take on the positive aspects of Leo, which are a healthy, strong ego that is authentic and makes everyone else around them feel like, hey, I can be authentic too, right? Or I can feel good about myself too. It's about expression of the self and love, how you love people, or you show love. So if you are a healthy individual and you have a healthy ego that fuels you so that you don't have to take fuel from others, you're going to collaborate with others in a really different way than somebody who doesn't have a healthy ego, who doesn't have a lot of fire in them, doesn't have fuel, and just kind of tries to pick up what everybody else thinks. And it's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Then that's how hive mind spreads. And people are just not they're not being real. They're not being themselves. They're just taking on opinions and ideas of others, and yeah, or they have to be validated by others, and who wants to live like that? Forget that. One thing that and Chiron is in Aries. The new moon was recently, And that new moon was conjunct Chiron and Black Moon Lilith in Aries, squaring the nodes of destiny. Okay? So, what does that mean? That's astrology speak. What it means is that as your sense of security is in opposition to the structures and societal expectations and government and all of that, it is forcing you in a really uncomfortable way to reassess your identity and to heal old identity wounds. We are all getting called to adventure here. We are getting pushed out of our comfort zone. And if you don't have the backbone and you don't have the courage and you don't have the strong sense of self, it's going to be really hard. You're going to have to rely on others. And yeah, there will be people there that will want to help you and you can probably rely on them. But to alleviate their strain and stress, because they're also being called to adventure, they're also having to be out of their comfort zone. The less weight you can put on, we can all put on each other, the better, right? So it's carry your own load. And a lot of us, we kind of have a reaction to that because we are like, oh gosh, that sounds like some old school dude saying, bootstrap it up, young lady, and yada yada. And that's old thinking. Well, guess what? there were a few words of wisdom there. And yes, it doesn't have to be all about survival of the fittest and competition. I don't believe in that either. But it can be the courtesy of holding your own weight and cleaning up your own mess and carrying your own load and not expecting others to help you with it. If they're there to assist and help you, be grateful for it and don't ever forget it. But don't have that expectation. So all of us, including me, including everybody I know, are having to move into a sense of self-sufficiency, okay? And sovereignty and a strong sense of self that feels that a healthy ego. We need that healthy ego because that healthy ego gives us fuel for our fire, for our passion, for us to take action in our best interests, which if your will is in line with your integrity and with divine will be to the benefit of those around you, right? Yeah. So that's kind of something we're all being pushed to look at. I love Chiron. It looks like a key. Chiron is the key to the zodiac. So in any situation going on in the zodiac, look at Chiron because it's the key to the baseline of what you should be doing to deal with everything else going on in the zodiac. It's the key to the evolution, to your evolution here. So it bridges the gap between the personal realm and the collective realm. So it's the key that connects us. And yes, you have your personal thing going on, but you need to be working on that key because it's connected to all of us. So I don't know how else to say that, but I hope that made sense. Anyhow, so that's going to be a huge day. Now, let me get back to the 4th of April. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, the generational cycle, the 2007 thing. So this is a day where there is such an opportunity for major shifts and transformation for all of us as a collective. And there's a global meditation going on at the exact time of the conjunction, which for me, I live in Texas, is Central Standard Time, 9:45 p.m. So look that up for your time zone. If you feel inclined to get synced into that, I highly recommend it. Let's put our energy towards a loving transformation. Transformation is not easy. Any mother that talk to somebody who's given birth and they'll tell you it's not easy. If butterflies could talk, they would tell you too. Think about the various phases in your life when you went through change. You went through some really tough times, but you got to that place and you were like, wow, I did it, right? So these are the things that make us grow. And like I said, we're all getting called to adventure right now. We're going from wounded warrior to hero. So the hero's call is set out, and it's all time for us to step out of our comfort zone a little bit and step into this new world and gain our confidence and gain a strong sense of self and a healthy ego and love for ourselves and forgiveness, and offer that generosity and forgiveness, and work in collectives and groups to build communities in a different way that is built by strong individuals and not just one person bossing everyone around. That's the old energy. We are so done with that. Corona means crown, okay? Get your crown back. Put your crown on. Don't let a virus take your crown. Don't let an overwhelming media take your crown. Be sovereign. Choose how you are going to give your energy to whatever the situation is, or whoever is coming at you requiring your energy. This is part of sovereignty. So some things to consider as we wrap up this talk are the new generational cycles coming in. We're all getting called to adventure. We all need to do our best to be self-sufficient and carry our own load. But listen to me, that doesn't mean being stubborn and not asking for help. Because if you put yourself in a bad position because you think you have to do it all on your own and you're not asking for help, you'll probably end up causing more work for whoever you're going to end up having to ask for help. So do what you can on your own, but know when you need to ask for help and do it with grace, because most likely the person that you ask for help is so happy to help you, and it helps them too. Okay? So I love you guys. My thoughts are with you. If you really need to talk, or you're just coming into all these awarenesses that are sort of blowing your mind, give me a call. Well, you can't call me, but you can email me. My email's in the description of the channel. Put a comment below, and maybe we can start a dialogue, because we need to talk about this stuff. And I'm telling you, I'm holding back a lot here, and I have a lot more to talk about. I went down quite the rabbit hole during that Mercury retrograde leading up to all of this, and I had to revisit a lot of my beliefs and my belief systems, and a lot of it got blown out the water. It's very difficult. All of these conjunctions happening in my ninth house of belief systems and personal philosophies, flipped upside down, totally transformed, and continuing to transform as we deal with this weekly. And it's been rapid and it's been fast. So take that breath on the on April 3rd, when Mercury conjuncts Neptune. Take a break. Go chill, get into your imagination, be creative. On the 4th, be mindful of the powerful energy around transformation happening. If you can, sync up with that global meditation, 9:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check on that for your time zone. And, be on the lookout for March 31st coming up. Is there something around AI or the government and technology that it's kind of a shocker to us, or seems very strict and limiting somehow? We'll see. Maybe nothing happens. I don't know. This is just the conjunction. Something could come up. So anyhow, I'm thinking of all of us. We're all in this together. Think of everyone too whenever you're doing your meditations, and be good to you. Take care of you. Have faith in you. And Put your crown on. Be sovereign. Be creative. You are a sovereign and creative human being. Don't forget it. Bye.